as we honor America and those defending our country and our freedom with the playing of our national anthem by York University, Wisconsin Pep Band under the direction of Johanna Anderson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, get on your feet. It's time for the starting lineup. We're going to 49 today with Wisconsin Falcons. A 6'2" sophomore guy from Kentucky, Wisconsin, number 2, Jared Durst. A 6'3" senior forward from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 4, Blake George. A 6'5" senior guard from Oak Creek, Wisconsin, number 12, Toby Nico. A 6'7" sophomore forward from Plymouth, Wisconsin, number 15, Brandon Turner. And a 6'6" junior guard from Cedarburg, Wisconsin, number 24, Jordan Johnson. Jordan University, Wisconsin, Mountain Valley head coach, Sean Cassidy. He's assisted by Dan Miller, John Fay, and Patrick Doherty. The video coordinator of the team is Patrick Cassidy. The manager of the team is Olivia Ramsey. And the athletic trainer is Mitch Malachiha.
And welcome back to the Falcon Athletic Network. Some technical difficulties to start today's game. We worked through those. The kinks are all worked out. We are ready for some NACC tournament basketball. Steve Scharr joined tonight here by the A squad, Brian Tanner and John Winter, on color play-by-play. The whole thing for you tonight as the Scarlet Hawks and the Falcons are now underway here inside the R. John Boot Fieldhouse. Jared Durst on a drive left-hand side off the bank of the backboard. Too strong, it'll be Scarlet Hawks basketball. So get into the flow of things tonight here. Brian Tanner, question for you as you've been here on Saturday to watch the Falcons defeat Benedictine in that last regular season game. What do you think the Falcons need to do tonight to continue that momentum into today?
I think they need to just keep pressing on the offensive end, get good shots. I mean, they were down most of the game, that 3 to 8 ranges we talked about, but they kept on keeping up with Benedictine, who's a really good basketball team. And IIT is no different. They might not be as well known, in the NACC, but they're still a real good squad, and they're going to have to keep up with them, and they're going to have to take the lead at some point as well.
So for the Scarlet Hawks in their first possession, Hizataki goes down low and gets a left-handed layup. Inside to Keller, ball's loose. Scarlet Hawks and Tom will get a jump ball, and the possession will go to the Scarlet Hawks, correction. So in the early going, the Falcons with a not so great shot on their opening possession, and then the ball gets loose here for a tie-up back to the Scarlet Hawks. Scarlet Hawks going down the paint. Hizataki inside left hand, almost for repetition of the last one. Too high off of that one. Back come the Falcons.
Steve, that's a matchup we got to watch all night. Hizataki's real big at 6'8".
Inside Lake George, nice bounce pass from Jared Jers for the first bucket of the game.
That's Falcon basketball right there. Little pick and roll with Jers and Lake.
Hizataki on a nice rebound there, going up and underneath on a reverse layup. Couldn't get that one. Hizataki this year, 21 games with 10-plus rebounds. He's 5th in the country with 19 double-doubles. Lake George on a floater there inside the middle of the paint.
It's a great touch from Lake George. You don't see it often that he decides to take a little jumper like that. He usually goes all the way to the hoop. Nice touch there from George.
Hobbin dribbling, free throw line pull up, and off the back of the rim twice. Keller pulls down the rebound. Out to Jers, always looking to run is Jared Jers at the point. 176, now 77 assists in his career. Brandon Keller from downtown, oh my! What a night this could be.
Was he 0 for 2 coming into this game from 3?
I guess not.
Hey, it's playoff basketball, anything can happen.
Brandon Keller going downtown to big man, showing some range. Pull up there from Dugalick. No good.
You'll live with that if you're Concordia. Pull up 18-footer all day.
Joey Zelo up to Keller, free throw line, thought about it. Inside, nothing going there against Hizataki.
Well, he checked
Jared
maybe.
Jers deep. Got it. Back-to-back three-pointers for the Falcons, and we'll get a 30-second timeout here for the Scarlet Hawks. And we will stay here on the Falcon Athletic Network. We have media timeouts today. Back here on the Falcon Athletic Network, Falcons lead 10-2 here in the early going. Back-to-back three-pointers on consecutive possessions for the Falcons. Brandon Keller from downtown, the big man. And then Jared Jers pulling up from the right wing about 3 feet behind the line.
Great start for the Falcons early up 10-2. That's what you want to do if you have the home court advantage. Get out to an early lead, see if they can't keep it here.
Driving up down the middle, not much pressure there for Milos Dugalick.
A little Olay defense there, Steve. That's not what you want to do.
Yeah, Zelo reached, going for the steal, and he paid the price there.
Jared Jers downtown for three-pointer left wing off the mark there. Hizataki, another rebound. We'll be saying his name basically on a repeat. I'm just going to keep hitting the repeat button for Hizataki on rebounding tonight. 13.8 average per game. Dugalick down the middle, right side. Oh, up and under, off the mark, offensive rebound. Up against Keller, couldn't get it. Ball loose, Falcons possession.
Keller did a great job there, just defending with his hand straight up, protecting the rim.
John, for you, having been a manager on this team for 4 years, a couple of years ago, is when your career came to retirement, let's say, you get in these pressure-packed situations. Do you do anything different, or you just continue what you do? Jordan Johnson from downtown for another Falcon triple.
Yeah, you just really got to stick to what got you here. For Concordia, it's moving the ball on offense. It's playing solid defense. It's working as a team, and you just got to continue to stick with that, especially come playoff time. Stick with what you're good at, and that's what Concordia's got to do to go far in this tournament. Doubling
on Hizataki was Johnson, and the ball got away, and he got it back and made it a right-handed layup. Hizataki this year had a 34-point outing on 14 of 29 shooting on January 11th against Lakeland. Block inside by the Scarlet Hawks. And that was number 30, Miles Curry, on the rejection of Lake George. So the first stoppage under 16, 12, 8, and 4 tonight. Each half, you're going to get media timeouts. So we're going to step aside here for a commercial break on the Falcon Athletic Network. As we come back out of the media timeout, which is now media timeouts now in effect for the NACC tournament to get the champion ready for the NCAA tournament, as Lake George fell down there inside to Brandon Keller. Tough shot against Miles Curry, and it looks like he will get called for the foul.
You know, they're letting him play pretty physical tonight, which I don't mind, you know, being in a playoff game. Physicality usually picks up a little bit, but Keller's able to draw a hard foul there and get to the free throw line.
Great catch, too, inside. A lot of traffic around him. Bring it down and able to get a shot off, too.
Miles Kerr in the Illinois Tech game against Rockford on Saturday scored 19 points on 6 of 10 shooting. We haven't talked about that yet, but Illinois Tech on Saturday was playing against Rockford in a do-or-die all game. Whoever won the game was in the NACC tournament, and Illinois Tech came out in front 87-80. 2-point lead at halftime, outscoring Rockford by 5 in the second half. Inside to Hizataki against Keller, posting up off the glass. Count it.
That's IT's game right there. Get the ball to the big fella and let him go to work.
It's too easy when he gets it that close to the basket.
It's hard to miss him out there. He's a big boy.
He is a big body with a lot of athleticism. Jordan Johnson crossing over and really was trying to put a highlight reel on there, but a little too strong off the backboard.
Yeah, a little too excited with the shot. Should have calmed down and just
$1 million
take a
move
shot.
with a $5 finish there, Steve.
It's a good way to put it, I guess. Hizataki in the last matchup against the Falcons, February 18th, had just 7 points, 2 of 4 shooting, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. So Hizataki able to stuff the stat sheet. Meanwhile, Miles Curry in the line here, he scored 23 in the last meeting against the Falcons and had 18 and 11 double-double in the first meeting back on January 4th, then went to double overtime.
You know, Steve, it is, you know, when you think of the game of basketball, they always like to say it's hard to beat the same team 3 times. Well, it's usually 2 times. It's really difficult to beat them 3 times. So hopefully Concordia can break the spell here and win come playoff time.
Dribble, drive, dribbling handoff around the horn. Up top, Durst thought about it. Screen from Alex Antoni is now checked in. Spin move in the lane, floater off the mark. Good rebound by Lake George, tip in.
What a tip by Lake. I mean, that's his game. He's scrappy, gets offensive rebounds, and really uses his athleticism nice on the offensive rebound line.
You have an opportunity to take a little bit of time, a couple of minutes on your off time. Go to CUWFalcons.com right now. Great feature story and almost a lob there for Hizataki. CUWFalcons.com. Jordan Benson wrote a great feature story on Lake George on his cultural background being Nigerian and how he played that into basketball and how it kind of all meshed with his teammates and stuff. But also the progression over the course of his career, coming as a freshman, playing JV, not getting the minutes he wanted. He kind of thought, like he stated in the story, thought he was the big man on campus, going to come in and start, and it just didn't happen. Kind of reality check in life, and they came back, really hit the weight room, kind of settled things down. Sophomore year played a little bit. Then his junior and senior year was in and out of the starting lineup and the bench, but just the progression over his career and how much he matured and grew as a basketball player, but also a man.
Well, that's something that's really cool, you know, about the Division III, even in college sports, where you come in as a senior in high school. Usually, most of these guys were the guys on their team, and then they come to college. You know, here at Concordia, and they're kind of a low man on the totem pole. But it's always great to see their progression as they go from freshman, you know, new to this whole system, to now senior. As Lake is now just one of the main players on this team.
Jerris up top, almost lost the ball. Jordan Johnson
possession.
dribbling left, pulls up with 2 on the shot clock. Antoni inside, off the window, got it. So you mentioned not a great possession. Balls hanging around all over the court. But Alex Antoni, as he does a number of times this season, just a scrappy big man. A couple of rebounds and putbacks, as you saw there.
And Tony bailed them out on that one. They just were dropping the ball, and they weren't even inside. They're all the way by half court, and Tony just luckily got a rebound and put it back up.
Muhammad on a layup there for the Scarlet Hawks, and somewhat of a screen down low from Miles Curry. CeeLo cutting to Lake George, driving, hop, step, and travel.
And again, I mean, we look at it again, another physical take to the rim, but the refs are letting them play, which I don't mind in little NACC tournament basketball, let them play a little bit.
Alvin driving in outside to Dougalick, pull up left-handed three, too long. Jers on the rebound, looking to push. Johnson running the middle, not there.
He's always got his eyes up, Steve. He's looking for the next pass.
Jordan Johnson dribbling baseline, try to get Jers in the corner, but cut off and stolen there by IIT. Miles Curry pull up way off the mark for three-pointer. Ball loose underneath, and we'll have a jump ball. Possession will stay.
And, you know, Concordia wants to play that up-tempo, fast game where they're looking to hit the guys at the wings. And that's one thing just to look for in this game is can Concordia get in transition, hit their open guys, either get to the rim for a layup, or they're very good at finding the open man and transitioning on the three-point line.
You saw in the pregame an interview with head coach Sean Cassidy that asked him what the Falcons need to do different against IIT than they did the previous two meetings this year. And he flat out said, we got to start better than what we did the first two times, especially the last meeting. For the first 5 minutes, they really dug themselves a hole. It's tough to get out of. IIT up top, faking the three-pointer and off, almost off of Hizataki's leg out of bounds, but it'll stay Scarlet basketball.
Well, I wonder if Concordia's game plan is, I mean, we'll check it out for the whole, the rest of this game is, do they front the big and limit his touches? We're trying to see they play a little three-quarter defense, but we'll see if they do full front.
Nice pull up there from Otis Rielli. Just coming off the bench, Otis Rielli this year for the Scarlet Hawks. 22 game played, 7 starts, 36% from downtown. Grant Carson now in the game, the freshman for the Falcons, camped out in the left corner, up and under, and watch out, Hizataki on the rejection, 30th in the country with 51 blocks this season, 2 per game. So we are now under the 12 stoppage for immediate timeout. We are going to step aside for a commercial break here on the Falcon Athletic Network. Back here inside the Falcon Athletic Network, it is all tied up 17-17 here inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse. We updated some of the numbers. The Falcons are shooting 50% on 7 of 14. They got 3 triples. 4 turnovers for the Falcons, none for Illinois Tech so far in this ball game. Falcons out rebounding the Scarlet Hawks 11-6. Scoring, Lake George with 6. Max Hisataki with 6 for the Scarlet Hawks.
And one thing to point out here is, you notice that there's only 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Especially, in playoff basketball, you need a guy who can score late shot clock. And I think Concordia has several of those guys, but obviously Jordan Johnson's very good at creating his own shot in these situations. And here's Jers trying to do it himself here.
Jers on a fadeaway off the mark, too far, back left corner of the rim. Back comes Muhammad off the screen from Hizataki. Now he's posting up against Alex Antoni. Ball being swung around now right in front of the Falcons bench. That is Guy Ostroff. Hizataki in the post against Antoni, up left-handed and got it. I think every bucket now has been with the left hand for Hizataki.
And he's got a nice touch, Steve. I mean, that's just a beautiful little left-hand baby hook, pounding it down low.
Curves outside to Johnson. Up to Alex Antoni, pulling the trigger from downtown 3, and almost a rebound from Grant Karsten. Had an opportunity to talk with Todd Kelly, and we're setting up today. Just kind of asked him, how do you get a guy like Hizataki in your program? I mean, he is a very big athletic body, and his athleticism really in the upper echelon of the NACC. And how do you get a guy like that at Illinois Tech? And basically, he's an architecture major, is what he told me. Very smart kid. And they had a former basketball player, Lake George, gets a blocky call and going to the rim. They had a former player from Illinois Tech who was also in architecture. I guess evidently he's one of the top 5 or 10 in the country or the world. I can't remember. 5. He's a great architect. And he called him and talked to Max and just basically told him how basketball is so great at Illinois Tech, how the degree he got changed his life and everything. And Max said, all right, I'm going.
That turned out well.
I would agree with that. I mean,
6'8" stud on the basketball court.
Holy man.
Smart.
Yeah, that's the thing with Illinois Tech. They have some pretty specific majors that they have, and Todd Kelly, head coach, told me, I think he told me 8 4.0 students on this roster.
That's pretty good. You know, the one thing is he actually wants to be an architect, unlike George Costanza, who pretended that was always his dream job, to be an architect. Always got to include a Seinfeld reference. Huh?
Got to get that in there as Lake George makes the second free throw to put the Falcons now down 1. Almost midway through the first half here. NACC tournament opening round. It's the Scarlet Hawks and the Falcons here inside the Book.
There's also a lot of blue in the Book here today, Steve. A little blue out at the R. John Book Fieldhouse.
Blue out tonight. That's what the men's team wanted. Dribble drive handoff, and Hizataki went to pass it left, faked it, and got caught for traveling.
The reason for the traveling call is the aggressive defense by Karsten. He had his hands in the passing lane, and Hizataki could not throw that pass, so he had to travel instead.
Nice pass. A little taste of his own medicine there. A little up and under, a little pump fake, and a nice little one-handed dunk for Keller.
Back come the Scarlet Hawks, now down 1 after being up 3 just a minute ago. Always looking inside for Hizataki. Are the Scarlet Hawks against Keller. Pass over to Otis Rielli against Grant Karsten up top. Three-pointer for the Scarlet Hawks. Got it. That would be number 25, Milos Dugalik.
And that's a tough possession for Concordia. They did a great job denying the wings, denying the post entry. But sometimes better offense will always beat good defense.
Sure, tough, strong move there against Rielli, the sophomore. Sophomore against sophomore, down in the paint.
Great strong drive there by Jers to get to his spot. You know he's going to finish when he gets that left side.
Rielli pulling up from 3, air ball there, and Jers almost caught it, but sometimes you get a situation like that, you got expecting it to hit something. It doesn't, comes down off your leg, and Muhammad checks back in for the Scarlet Hawks, as is number 11, Jalen Lomax.
Watch Hizataki here on maybe a duck in on an inbounds play to get him going early.
Hizataki right corner up top to Muhammad. Ball swung around to Dugalik, back to Hizataki in the post. Brandon Keller, good defense there. Turnover IIT.
And one great way to defend against a great post player is actually the guards pressuring the ball handler, so it's a lot harder to get an easy entry pass in. And that just happened there. It was a difficult pass thanks to the guards up top denying and providing some ball pressure. Here's where Jordan's good at the top of the key, but couldn't quite get his shot off.
Jordan Johnson hanging, floating off the back of the window for a bucket, put the Falcons up 2. Hizataki in the paint, skip pass left corner would be Dugaluk off the mark. Zelo with the rebound, back on the Falcons. Jers, Grant Karsten running down the left side of the corner. Camped out, Jers, dribble drive handoff. Johnson up top against Dugalik. Inside, and Hizataki, he'll get called for a foul. I didn't quite see it, but hey, I'm up here and the official's down there, so that's the way that goes. Under 8 media timeout coming up here. We are going to step aside on the Falcon Athletic Network for a commercial break. Back here inside the Falcon, on the Falcon Athletic Network, inside the Art John Book Fieldhouse. Man, I got a lot of words to say there. Steve Schar, John Winter, Brian Tenner on the call here today for you. So far, it looks like it's going to be a really tight battle all the way through. What do the Falcons need to do to kind of tighten things up inside, because his Ataki is really doing some damage?
Well, again, we stated in the broadcast, it really starts with the guards to 9 with ball pressure and seeing if you can't just limit his touches in that way.
Brian, for you, some of the possessions for the Falcons have been really clean, but then also not clean. What do they need to do to maybe kind of get a little bit more crisp?
I think they need to be better at starting the offense or initiating it, whether it's that dribble handoff at the top or whether it's that post or the screen and roll right at the top of the key. So those are 2 things you should watch for the Concordia offense. As
Jordan Johnson here shooting free throws. Knocks down the first. Jordan Johnson this season on an outstanding 87.2% at the free throw line. Looked up the other day, the NCAA era record was 90.2, I think. The all-time single season record, I think, was 91 or 92%. Not quite sure if he's going to get there. Not Eric Kittle, I don't think. I'll have to look again.
He was a very good free throw shooter.
He was our program's all-time leading scorer.
This is where the Falcons got to pick it up here, is on the defensive end.
Muhammad inside pass. Good defense there by Joey Zelo. Another steal for Zelo. Skipping over Jordan Johnson off the screen from Keller. Pulls up a little too many steps. That has expounded and expanded and just developed in the game of basketball this year. And a lot of that, I will attest, goes to James Harden in the NBA. The sidestep that spans 6 feet, or however the step back, and it sure looks like a travel. Saw a video on YouTube one day. They broke it down. It is not, at least in the NBA.
Well,
the college game is different.
It's hard to get a travel to the NBA.
Well, yeah, there's that too. His Ataki with a pull-up jumper from 15 baseline.
Jordan's got such long legs. When he does that move, he creates so much separation. He gets an easy shot off whenever he wants, really.
I remember his freshman year, Jordan Johnson, Keller going inside against his Ataki, up and under, spin move all the way around the rim, couldn't get it. His freshman year, it seemed like at least once or twice a game he's getting called for travel. Once he figured that out and had that little step move there on the step back, really started doing putting some numbers up against the opposition and made him look foolish. Joey Zelo and another steal here. Back comes Zelo up against Muhammad, and he'll get the foul. Muhammad on a blocking call.
That's all started with Keller playing excellent defense, going straight up with his hands, not leaning in. Tough contest, and that led the Falcons to get in transition.
John, you mentioned the officials letting them play physical today. That was the 6th foul so far, and there's 6 minutes to go in this first half.
Cordy only has 2 fouls, too.
Well, usually it does seem like in playoff basketball, especially, in the NACC, they seem to let them play a little bit in the first half, and then sometimes in the second half they start to call it a little bit closer. So we'll see come second half if that's the case.
Muhammad left wing right in front of the Falcons bench, up top, going back to the left. Over to Lomax, now right corner to Miles Curry. Screen switch, Jordan Johnson guarding him. Running out of time as the horn goes off the mark was Dugalik.
Excellent defense there by Concordia. They were really trying to full front Hisaki there, and they did an excellent job.
Little bounce pass there, and Grant Carson out right wing, got it, downtown freshman.
That's great patience there by Jordan Johnson. He first got the first pump fake, to get the first defender to fly by, and then he had Hisataki come at him. He did not want to go at Hisataki, so he found Carson for an easy three.
You saw the replay there. Jordan Johnson, free throw line, little kick out for Karsten as Slamma Jamma Hisataki with the answer. Falcons up 4 with just under 5 to go in the first half. Joey Zelo, size advantage against Muhammad for a kiss off the window.
The bank is open.
It's always good when you're at home. Muhammad left corner, short rebound. Jordan Johnson back on the Falcons. No numbers there, and just a simple loss of the ball for a turnover.
That's just being lazy on Johnson's part. Just got to take care of the ball. It's that simple.
Well, the other thing, too, I mean, they had two guys in a similar area. When you're trying to run in transition, you want to fill the lanes, get spaced. Everybody's got their spot. They're a little clogged together on that left side of the court.
So for the Falcons, Lake George and Alex Antoni will replace Karsten and Keller.
And it looks like Concordia's going the two-man big approach on Illinois' best player. That's what you got to do.
Not a bad idea until Hisataki can, I think, thought it was blocked, but it was short there on an attempt from Rielli. Maybe you just go two bigs until you can slow down Hisataki, and maybe Scarlet Hawks can't shoot from deep tonight. Lake, nobody guarding him, pull up from 3, off the mark there. Illinois Tech this season, 3rd in conference play. Actually, check that. 3rd all season amongst all NACC teams. 3-point shooting. Back comes Lake George. Pass to Joey Zelo for a fast break layup.
That's where Concordia is really fantastic in transition. That's what they want to do, especially if the other team has a big who's a rim protector. Beat them down the floor and beat them in transition.
Falcons coming in right now, leading all NACC teams, 48.3% field goal percentage. Meanwhile, Illinois Tech, they'll answer second best defensive team in the league, 67.2%. Bunch of bodies on the court here.
I think they called a charge there, Steve.
Yeah, Lake was called for the charge there. And now we got another under 4 media timeout.
Under 4 media timeout coming up here, so we are going to step aside for another commercial break. Back here in NACC tournament action tonight inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse. Let's look around, see what the other matchup tonight in the NACC tournament opening round. It is Lakeland ahead of MSOE, 33-31 with 1:46 to go in a 5-4 matchup. In the Tri-City area, Sheboygan, Howards Grove, Plymouth, whatever one you want to say. Well, you got to drive through one to get to one, and on the way out, you got to drive through the other one. So you can go through all of them on the way to Lakeland.
Steve Schauer knows his geography of Wisconsin.
I've been there a few times.
Get a little bit of everything tonight in tonight's broadcast.
Well, we got the A squad just trying to give you everything you can. Here inside the Book, as it is 34-26 now, largest lead of the game for either team. Falcons up. Hisataki triple teamed almost. Down low underneath the rim, kind of got stuck in no man's land.
That was good defense by Concordia. I mean, heck, it takes a triple team to stop him. They have to throw everything at him, throw the kitchen sink at their best player.
Jordan Johnson, great defensive effort there. Almost had the steal, but the second tip went off the end line.
Again, that ball denial by Johnson. He's so long against a smaller Red Hawk that he just can get his hands on any type of ball that's trying to get into Hisataki.
Jordan Johnson listed as 6'6". Inside Rielli against Karsten. Jers with a big tough rebound. Back on the Falcons with numbers advantage. Karsten right wing. Got it, yes! Downtown, the rookie.
Biggest lead of the game now for the Falcons. Let's see if they can keep this momentum all the way into the half.
Falcons now up 11. Inside Miles Curry, double team, triple team, and ball was poked off of Alex Antoni, hit Miles Curry and went out of bounds, so it'll be Falcons possession.
That was excellent defense there by Concordia, using their hands. Coach Cassidy loves preaching, getting deflections, getting your hand on the ball, and you know, Concordia prides itself in always being at the top in steals. And that just all starts with deflections and great use of the hands on defense.
2 consecutive possessions, they threw the triple team at the Scarlet Hawks. Inside Joey Zietlow, and ball poked away there by, I believe, Dugalic. Well, he should get credit for a steal on that one. Inside, watch out. Hizataki and a dunk.
Great roll to the basket by Hizataki.
Send it in, Jerome.
Hizataki, very big athletic body, able to dunk. And the last game here against the Falcons, he had one where I swear he was looking inside the rim. Ball poked away there by Dugalic against Johnson from behind. He went up on a fast break and I think looked in the rim and then wham, slammed it in there. Dugalic, right corner, got it for the Scarlet Hawks.
They cut the lead to 6 now, the Scarlet Hawks did.
It'll be very important here last minute of the first half to see who can get momentum going into the second half.
Falcons were up 11, counted on the bucket layup and the foul.
Excellent take there by Jers. He's really strong going with his left hand. Obviously he's a left-handed player, but he's just got such nice touch around the rim, using that, your best friend, the backboard, when going to the rim.
He almost used that initial defender to ward off Hizataki, create a little space between those long arms.
And when you're going at a shot blocker, that's what you want to do. You want to go into his body, get him out of the way, and then finish strong like Jers did.
Exactly 1 minute to go in the first half. Jers with the free throw to put the Falcons up 9. They were up 11, then back to 6, now to 9. Screen by Hizataki going against Alex Antoni. What a tough layup there. Kind of a left-handed scooperoo.
What? That's a new save.
It is.
I mean, you're going to have to live with that if you're Concordia.
Yeah, there's not much you can do on that play. It's just a difficult shot. So we have a timeout on the court. 30-second timeout by the Falcons. Up 7 with 33.8 to go. 23 to go on the shot clock.
Well, here, this last 30 seconds, let's see what Concordia can get. Obviously, they want to draw something up, get the best look here possible on offense here. Let's see what Coach Kane has for the offense.
I'd like a 2-man game here with Jers and Johnson, a little pick and roll with those two. They don't do it often, but Jers could get around the defender and Jordan can pop, or he can roll and he finishes well near the basket.
I like that too, and if you look at this lineup right now, you have Zietlow and Carson out there, so you can play your little 2-man game and get one on each side, maybe in a wing or the corner, whatever way you go. You got that extra man there for the 3-point shot if that 2-man game isn't there.
And Antoni can shoot as well.
Very true. Jers up top, dribble drive handoff to Carson to Zietlow to Johnson, right wing, 15 on the timer. Johnson on a cut, almost had him screen. Antoni cut, Carson right wing, 3-pointer, got it, yes! Another triple for the Falcons.
That 3 for Carson already?
That is his third 3-pointer of this half. Falcons up 10. Off the mark of the Scarlet Hawks. Rebound, and the timer will go off. So it is now halftime here inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse. Falcons up 10, 43-33. Quick initial thoughts from either of you before we step aside for a commercial break.
I mean, the 3-point shot really helped the Falcons. Carson had 3, you had Jers with 1, and Johnson with another. That really helped separate the Falcons in this first half.
And And I thought defensively they did a great job on Hizataki late there in the second half, denying his touch, and that's what they're going to have to do defensively in the second half.
Falcons at 16 field goals, 6 from downtown. So we're going to step aside here for an extended commercial break. We'll come back for some updated statistics for you and maybe some highlights. Back here inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse, it is halftime. Falcons up 43-33. See the Falcons shooting 60%, the Illinois Tech's 42. Downtown 60%, rebounds with a slight edge and assists +1. Throw over to Brian Tenner, he can run through all the numbers for you.
Hizataki leads all scorers with 14, and the unsung hero here for the Falcons, Grant Carson, leads with 9 points. You also have Jers with 8, Johnson with 7, and Lake George with 7. It's a little balanced attack here for the Falcons. Jordan Johnson has not been subbed out of this game. He's played all 20 minutes. Hizataki, Curry, and Dugalit have all played 18 plus for the Scarlet Hawks, so a lot of minutes being played by the star players on both sides. It'll be interesting to see where the scoring comes from. Is it going to continue to be Carson in the second half, or will it come from Johnson and Jers like we're used to?
Well, and I think, Concordia does a great job. They did a great job of spreading the wealth around tonight. They were using their teammates well, and he was getting open looks just off the drive and kick, wide open threes, and that's all done through creation for your teammates and finding the best shot possible. So hopefully they can keep it going together as a team.
Get in the right spot at the right time to hit those 3 threes to lead the Falcons with 9 points so far. They got a 10-point lead at halftime. We have a couple highlights for you from the first half action.
Look at some of the numbers here as Jared Jers with a spin, put back by Lake George. That was early in the first half. Jers comes back, Brandon Keller down the middle, stops, fakes, up for the dunk. Outside Grant Karsten, and one of his 3 threes in the first half. Then it was Hizataki with a slam down low. And back came Jers with 2.5 minutes to go, and here's another triple from Grant Karsten from the right wing. And you had just under 2 minutes to go. Hizataki with his second dunk. Jers on a screen and roll there, and then there's the third triple from Grant Karsten with 17 seconds to go in the half. Put the Falcons up 10. Take a minute here to step aside for another set of commercials, and we'll come back and run you right into the second half here on the Falcon Athletic Network. And back here inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse on the Falcon Athletic Network, let's look at the other score in the NACC tournament opening round game. It is currently MSOE 41, Lakeland 35 with 18 to go in the second half. And you look at that ball game, Matthew Kermsby with 15 points on 6 of 7 shooting. He's got 6 rebounds. Then Michael Pitroff's also got 10 for the Raiders. And for Lakeland, it is Carlos Campos with a dozen. Tony White's got 8 points, 8 rebounds. You look at that ball game, both teams shooting under 40%. Actually, you throw it all the way around, it's not a great shooting game by either team. Lakeland 83.3% at the free throw line. That's about the bright spot in that one. Both teams going to the paint, 42 combined points out of the 76 in that ball game. Here inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse, it is a Falcons 43-33 plus 10 here at halftime. 20 of the 43 points in the paint for Illinois Tech, 18 of 33, and a lot of that is Max Hizataki. He's got 14 and 6 rebounds. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, you've seen it, Grant Karsten, the freshman off the bench, draining 3 triples, all from that right side of the court. 2 from the wing and 1 from the corner. So as we get underway here inside the booth, great crowd on hand there. If we can go back to that shot there from the court, great crowd here tonight inside the booth. It is a blowout night, and it is full on that side. Pep bands in attendance, multiple athletic teams, regular student body, and even a Sean Cassidy cutout. So second half underway here. And John, what do you think the Falcons need to do to maintain this 10-point advantage? Inside, great pass to Lake George, and he gets hacked by Miles Curry. Maintain this 10-point advantage and possibly increase it a little bit more.
They got to do what they just did there. Continue to attack the rim. Be in attack mode. Don't be timid, especially on offense. You want to keep working to get the best shot possible, and that's done by attacking the rim, which they just did in their opening possession.
Yeah, stay aggressive on both sides of the ball, and there's still so much time left. You don't need to milk the clock on every possession. If you get a good shot, you can take it even with 25 seconds left on the shot clock.
Head coach Sean Cassidy in a pregame interview mentioned the Falcons need to do a strong effort in the rebounding, +5 right now. He had mentioned a couple of his keys to victory was rebounding and getting out to a fast start. And I believe the Falcons so far have accomplished both of those in the first half. Muhammad left corner off the screen, pulls up. Oh, I thought he was going to pull up their left wing. Really thought about it.
They have Lake George switched on to Hizataki.
Miles Curry, right corner, short rebound, Joey Zelo. Back comes Jers. Keller sprinting down the middle. Up and under. Good spin move. Great double spin there. Brandon Keller for a reverse layup.
Dream shake there. Shades of Akeem Olajuwon with the dream shake.
It's a great look ahead there by Jers just to find him, knowing that Hizataki was not turned and looking at the ball, and he was just kind of jogging back.
Joey a little too aggressive there on the defense. Tried to get the ball, ended up swiping a little too far and hitting him right on the head.
So Muhammad's going to the free throw line here for the Falcons, or correction, Scarlet Hawks, my goodness. He's an 89.1% free throw shooter. So the Scarlet Hawks now down 12. Just under 19 minutes to go here in the second half. Foul down low against Dugalik. So that'll be his second.
Is this going to be a sign that they're calling a little bit tighter here to start the second half? In the first half, they let them play. Let's see if they call it a little bit tighter here in the second half.
Off-ball foul is very rare.
Joey Zelo up top. Brandon Keller taking his Ataki off the dribble. Nothing there. He had to get rid of it and turn the ball over. Back come the Scarlet Hawks. Fast break. Had the numbers. Decided to pull it out. Was Lomax. Still looking. Well, I mean, at that point, you might as well shoot the ball. You're wide open, but Lomax this season, 42%, just 3 of 7. Muhammad, meanwhile, jacks up from left wing. Almost a steal there by Lake George. Dugalik got it from the right wing.
That was unfortunate. That thing just bounced around and happened to find an open shooter.
Thought Lomax would have shot there, but he only took 7 3-pointers this season. You had Muhammad with 120 attempts and Dugalik with 101. Curry 96, and then it's nobody after that. Jers.
Hit the shot clock there. Out of bounds.
Just off the bottom of the shot clock, which are newer now from your day, John.
I was going to say, that is fantastic that they are brand new, because I remember the days of climbing up on the top rung of a ladder to plug it in. And it was a little, maybe not up to OSHA standards. I'm going all the way up.
Lake George gets popped in the throat. So an offensive foul there from Miles Curry. That one, that'll hurt for a little while. Yeah, the old shot clocks had the cage on the front, and they were just straight out of the 90s. Whenever this first one's built in, the original shot clocks had the old plug in the side, and it never failed, Brian, that about every other game, give or take, You'd either get somebody in the pregame who, for whatever reason, would drive you nuts, would chuck from half court or from the backside of the hoop. Hit the plug, pop out, and you had to go up on the ladder. And Lake George downtown for the triple.
What a shot by George.
Playing a little pool with a 3-ball in the corner pocket.
That's only his 21st 3 of the season.
Well, let me repeat myself. Hizataki and a layup for the Scarlet Hawks inside left-handed.
That was a little too easy. He got positioned in underneath the restricted area, and that's just too easy.
Keller lost it. Yep, and he'll get called for a travel.
This is where Concordia's just got to maintain composure, keep getting good looks. They're up 10 here, but you got to make sure that you keep on the gas pedal and keep going strong.
Keep that ball denial high.
Muhammad on a screen from Hizataki down low, and Lake George came from the weak side, smacked the backboard, and he'll get called for the foul.
And ITT's doing a great job here of just attacking the hoop on each and every possession and taking it to the rim strong and getting the and ones and getting to the free throw line.
Muhammad converts the old-fashioned three-point play.
Let's see what the Falcons do on offense. Looks like they have a play call here. Let's see if they can't get a good look here.
Scarlet Hawks have cut into this deficit too. They're only down 7 now.
Tercillo, an 18-footer, got it. Long two-pointer for Joey Zietlow to put the Falcons up 9. Crossover there, Muhammad. Hizataki up top, Lomax over to Dugalik. Off the screen, Blair pass to Muhammad. Dribbles up the middle, floater, short. Joey Zietlow on the run out, Jer saw him, but nothing there on an opening. Dribbling, loft to Brandon Keller inside. Stepped out of bounds there and looking for a foul as he bumped into Hizataki. Hizataki, smart move there, didn't get called for the foul, but had enough bump which caused movement, Keller to step on the line.
Well, he also did a nice job too of not engaging Jers too much, because Jers was really looking to pass it to Keller there, but he did a nice job of staying home and forcing that tough lob pass and a tough catch.
As you see head coach Sean Cassidy there talking with the official, just asking for a simple explanation as to why a foul is not called there, so he can understand as this game progresses what is and is not going to be called. Hizataki down low, foul on the layup. Will go to the line to shoot a free throw. Hizataki this year 53% at the free throw line. So that is going to be the first stoppage under 16. So we will step aside for a commercial break for immediate timeout here on the Falcon Athletic Network. So we are on the 16-minute media timeout here. Falcons up 7. Here inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse, Falcons shooting 59.4% in this ball game. 7 of 12 from downtown, 58% with a +6 on the rebounding margin. Turnovers 12-8. IIT with the advantage there. Falcons with 11 bench points, and 9 of those from Grant Carson, the freshman coming off the bench for 3 triples.
He's back in the game too. He just checked in for Lake George. Jers was looking for Carson on the cut. Now Keller's going to go all the way to the basket. Hizataki with the rejection.
Hizataki came in 30th in the country, and whoa, short there. We'll get a foul on the ground by Brandon Keller, I guess, is off arm with a shove. Hizataki came in 30th in the country with 51 blocks, 2 per game. Hizataki inside against Alex Antoni as you hear somebody in the crowd yelling 3 seconds. We haven't had one of those yet this game. Hizataki 15 squares up against Antoni and catches him.
Just a great move. Great first step there from Hizataki. He's real quick, and Antoni's just not quick enough to stay with him there.
So for a big man, he's played. I don't think he's come out tonight. I think he's played pretty much majority. He's only came out one time. He's played most of the game, and for a big guy and how physically is, how many minutes can he play?
Well, Hizataki in Saturday's game against Rockford.
There's another rejection by Hizataki on Zelo. That's his 3rd of the game.
Hizataki played 36 minutes against Rockford in that ball game. Played 42 back in the double overtime game in January. Against the Falcons, Muhammad pulls up left wing, down, out, down, in and out. Falcon lead down to 6 now. Jers on the spin move inside, nothing there. And threw it off the leg of Lomax, I believe. So Rielli will now check in for Lomax. So Jers will inbound in the corner right by the Falcon bench. Up top, Antoni to Zelo. Over to Johnson, right wing. Karsten flares to the corner. Antoni down low against Hizataki. Spin move, nothing going. Backdoor cut. Karsten, another rejection. Hizataki.
That's 3 straight from Hizataki. He's really taking over on the defensive end right now.
And they'll get Miles Curry on an offensive foul against Jordan Johnson.
A little clear out there. It was actually on Hizataki.
Oh.
Clearing out Antoni.
All right, well. Still an offensive foul at the wrong guy, but. So Hizataki now is 2. So Falcons up 6, 14 minutes to go in this ball game. Zelo up top, fake the handoff, pulls up from 15 off the elbow. No good there.
And you could kind of tell that Zelo kind of hesitated a little bit, getting rejected once, and there's that rim protection again. And instead, they had to pull up from 15.
Yeah, he usually takes it all the way, but he had Hizataki in the back of his mind there. You could tell.
Yeah, Hizataki with 3 rejections in the last, let's say, 2 or 3 minutes. 3 minutes there inside, 3 seconds. Nothing called there. Hizataki basically pitching a 10 under the hoop. As you see head coach Sean Cassidy there calling for 3.
They're bound to get it one time, huh, Steve? Wouldn't you think? If you keep saying it, well, is it bound to happen?
Yeah, you'd
Speak
think
it
at
into
some
truth.
point it's, the official will catch on. And then the question is, at what point will it be called? Will it be called in a crucial moment, or will you get it now and get it over with? But up top is Rielli over to Muhammad. Karsten on the switch defensively inside to Hizataki, and Antoni will get called for the foul.
When you could tell they're calling it a little bit closer here in the second half. You could tell the physicality is picked up, especially in the low post with all the bigs, both sides, really trying to fight for position.
Muhammad off the inbound pass, right wing, 3-pointer. Well, that Falcon double-digit lead, I believe, was 12, now down to 3.
Need a good offensive possession here if you're the Falcons. Johnson and Jers needs to take this ball to the hoop.
Jers inside against Degalik, couldn't get it there, and Hizataki with another rebound.
Like Concordia, don't want it to slip into hero ball, playing too much one-on-one isolation.
Hizataki in the post again, skip pass. Rielli not there. Degalik up top, shot fake, 15. Muhammad, top of the key, got it, 3-pointer, back-to-back triples for Illinois Tech, who now have the ball game tied at 52.
That's that inside-out game. When you have a great big, you got to play inside-out sometimes, and they've been hitting those open threes when they get them.
Zelo inside against Hizataki. Great backdoor bounce pass for Alex Antoni on a layup.
Great find there from Zelo. It was a tough pass to handle, too, from Antoni. Showed great hands on that, being able to catch it and finish it.
Muhammad Trying to drive, nothing there. Golick over to Muhammad, right wing, inside to Miles Curry. Double team, and Tony, well, Zelo had it, and then turned it over, and, well, ball's still loose. And it'll stay to IIT.
Shot clock reset because Zelo had 2 hands on the ball. Now we're under 12.
So we will take a media timeout, step aside here on the Falcon Athletic Network for a quick commercial break. Back here inside the Arjan Book Fieldhouse on the Falcon Athletic Network. 11:59 to go here in the NACC tournament opening round. It is the IIT Scarlet Hawks, the 6th seed, against the hosting number 3 Concordia, Wisconsin Falcons. Falcons up 2. And that other ball game there. MSOE starting to run away with it now, up 60-41 with 10:25 to go at Lakeland.
This is classic NACC basketball here. We got another tight one inside the booth.
Talking about during that commercial break, they reset the shot clock. Muhammad off the inbound.
A little bit of a heat check there for Muhammad. He hit 2 in a row. Why not try for the 3rd?
Talked about a number of times this season. Johnson down low inside, block, got the ball. Well, got it back, but they'll call it jump ball. Shooters don't ever think they're gonna miss. You made one, I get the next one. If you made 5 in a row, I'm gonna get the next 5. At some point you miss, but
or if you're like me and you go 0 for 5, you're still gonna think you're gonna hit the
well, yeah, that's how you operate. Downtown, Zelo went down and out. Keller back off the rim. Izataki with another rebound. I saw you shooting during a lot of practices during your day here, and I'm assuming you were trying to miss during those rebounding drills because it surely wasn't pretty.
You know, I would love to tell you that I was trying to miss, but sometimes that's how the jump shot goes. Josh Pingle, on the other hand, the other manager, that man didn't miss.
That was just a brickathon. Reale down against outside, Miles Curry short, and Karsten will let it go off the Gatorade cooler.
And I don't know if you can hear it at home, but the fans here at the Falcon Faithful are hoping to get a 3-second call, but you never know.
I think they should just start counting as an entire group
as a
out
community.
loud. Yeah, big community. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Johnson, right corner, squares up, 1 dribble pull up. Back iron. That's his bread and butter move right there. Face you up, little shimmy shake, 1 dribble. Gotcha.
I would like to see him get to the basket, though. He's such a good free throw shooter. You know he can get to the hoop, maybe draw a couple fouls, maybe get Izataki in foul trouble.
Joey Zelo had the steal there and tried to get nifty on her on the back pass, and then the Falcons get called for a foul. And we saw that, Brian, on Saturday where Jordan Johnson at times wasn't really in an offensive rhythm and then just put his head down, barreled his way right to the bucket. Started getting to the free throw line and started getting back into it.
He only had 2 or 3 points at halftime, and we talked at halftime about he needs to be more aggressive. And he finally started to get more aggressive and get to the hoop, get some free throws, and he was able to get those points that he usually gets the Falcons. He averages almost 20 a game, so you need his scoring in any game, especially a NACC conference or postseason game. You need him to score, and you need him to be the best player on the court sometimes.
Johnson in the Falcons matchup with IIT this year scored 12 in that February 18th game and then had
Karsten with another huge 3. Great skip pass there from Jers to Karsten in the corner. Huge 3 from the freshman.
Is that Kyle Korver out there?
Oh my goodness. What are you doing here, John? How do we invite you on this broadcast? Throwing out big names like that. Ice in his veins is Grant Karsten, who in his high school career had, I think, almost 2,000 points, 1,900 and something down in Illinois. He was a baller in high school. He is from, let's see if I can find him on my roster here. Got to get the right number.
He's
yeah,
from
there
Decatur,
we go.
Illinois.
Decatur, Illinois is Grant Karsten. One heck of a high school career. Last salutatorian was Grant Karsten. 1,901 points, 743 his senior year. 743 points. Inside, Brandon Keller off the backboard.
Just a few more than you scored in your high school days.
Like 700 more.
Lake George is back in the game here for the Falcons as Zelo takes a seat. Get a little more athletic.
Inside was Illinois Tech going to Ricardo Whitehead, who's checked into the ball game.
Isataki's going to check right back in. He just got a quick breather from the second half.
Interesting that Isataki is taking the breather now as opposed to waiting a little bit. Whitehead's played all 25 games this year to start at one, only averages 9 minutes a game, 0.8 points a ball game, 1.4 rebounds. So Miles Curry, so they'll leave Whitehead in. Miles Curry will go take his quick breather. Izataki back in. Falcons up one. Jers, right wing, trying to get a screen from Keller, drives in the lane. Johnson, left corner, triple. Too long. Lake George in the action there. Keller got it off the rim. Friendly touch in the roll.
Great hustle there by Lake George to keep the play alive to allow Brandon Keller that second opportunity at the bucket.
Whitehead doubling his average per game right there on that bucket. Good offensive rebound for Whitehead, this sophomore from Bellwood, Illinois.
We got a ball game here, Big Steve.
We do, and I don't have the exact numbers on ties and lead changes, but I can only imagine that number is increasing almost every possession. Johnson on a floater.
He can hit that shot too.
Jordan Johnson can start getting that going, then his repertoire of shots really going to make it difficult on the Scarlet Hawks. Screen from Whitehead is Galik, Muhammad inside, and I'm not quite sure what he was looking at there, but trying to get it to his Ataki. Turnover.
Great defense by Keller to fight for position. He was almost to the point of steal, but worked around to get that deflection in the steal.
Lake George, right wing, his Ataki 10 foot off of him. Daring him to shoot, Johnson dribbling. Lake George pulls up, almost had it. His Ataki with another rebound. Izataki now with a double-double. 19 points, 11 rebounds. George guarding Whitehead. Trying to get a Izataki. Muhammad right corner triple. Got it. I believe that's the third three for Muhammad in this half that I can recall. Puts the Scarlet Hawks up two with just under 7 to go.
Cordy's got to keep attacking on offense to keep getting the best shot possible.
Keller against double team now. Hizataki tried going for the block, and that forced Keller to spin. Galik on the rebound.
Bit of a mismatch here, George.
Yeah, mismatch inside with Hizataki on George. Keller now coming over to help.
Good switch there by Concordia.
Well, Keller got the switch, sent George out, and Karsten went up. Inside Muhammad against George. Good defense there, straight up. Sean, you're looking for the Falcons to push it. Lake George and a layup in the foul. Count it.
Great find from Jers. George is running the court. Got a little replay here. Jers is just surveying the floor, and he finds George just kind of walking through the lane for the N1.
So we are under 8 minutes. First stoppage. We'll step aside here for a media timeout here on the Falcon Athletic Network. Back here on the Falcon Athletic Network, Steve Scharr joined by John Winter and Brian Tenner. Max Hizataki with a double-double, 19 points, 11 rebounds. Ahmad Muhammad with 16, 3 three-pointers all in the second half. And you have Milos Dugalik with 11. He's got 3 triples. Lake George for the Falcons, your leading scorer tonight with 14. Grant Carson's got a dozen all from downtown. Brandon Keller with 11. Jers with 8. Zelo 7. Jordan Johnson with 7. Tua 8. Jers with 10 assists as well. 10 assists, and a key factor for Jared Jers. 0 turnovers tonight.
I know the last 2 times they played them, he had struggled with a few turnovers, so it's good to see a 0 in that column for your point guard.
Jared Jers with double-digit turnovers. Now the Falcons just got to get Jordan Johnson going offensively to really pick up the offense. Lake George, great defensive effort there. Ball game tied, 63-63, under 6 to play.
Lake has really picked it up here defensively. He's had great contests at the rim.
Lake
He's not going for the block, too. He's just standing straight up to make the offensive player get over him.
Lake George hesitation dribble against Miles Curry. Couldn't get that there. Max Hizataki piling up the rebounds. 13-point average per game on the season. Muhammad right wing. They got to get a hand in his face. Got 3 threes here in the second half. Inside pass to Hizataki on the lob. A little bit too far out of the reach.
Concordia kind of got lucky there, just a little bit long. But hey, you'll take it.
So in the ball game right now, that's their 11th turnover. The Falcons have 12.
Been a little clearer in the second half. There was 10 and 9 at halftime.
Off the screen, Jers. Little dump pass to Lake. Karsten, right corner 3. Air ball. Almost had the rebound. There was Keller. And it'll go to IIT on a very emphatic this direction from the official.
The whole Concordia bench was pointing the other way, but the ref stood tall, pointed the wrong way if you're a Concordia fan.
Muhammad, right wing. Double team down low. Dugalik, right corner. Back iron off the mark. Keller on the rebound. Jers looking to push it. No numbers there. Behind the back dribble. Triple. Too short there for Jared Jers. Hizataki on the rebound.
That was a tough shot. Maybe a little bit of a heat check.
Jump pass there from Muhammad. Hizataki going out to Reale. Screen and roll. Little lob there. Good defense by Lake George.
George played that perfectly. He came, his first step was at Reale, but then he knew right away that Reale was not going to shoot it. He stepped backwards at Hizataki to get in the passing lane. He tips it, and then Hizataki tips it out of bounds.
Great defense there by Lake George. We are under 4-minute media timeout, so we're going to step aside here on the Falcon Athletic Network. Great atmosphere inside the Arjan Book Fieldhouse tonight. So you see a bench shot there. Pep bands in action. Loud and proud as they always are. Illinois Tech trying to draw up a play coming out of media timeout here.
Hey, how do you not love this? NACC playoff basketball, we're tied 63-63 with under 4 to go. The Book is rocking. This is what it's all about.
Over in Lakeland in the other opening round game, MSOE up 75-63 with 3 minutes to go. Looks like MSOE will go on to win that one in a 5-4 matchup, which would put them going to Benedictine on Thursday. Step fake there for Jordan Johnson off the mark. Couldn't get a triple to fall, so Jordan Johnson tonight 2 of 9 now. Falcons want to make a deep run in the NACC tournament. They're going to need Jordan Johnson to pile up some points. He's got to get a couple of fall, and then he'll get his stroke back. Reale on the dribble up top, trying to find Hizataki. Good defense here by the Falcons. Screen and roll, nothing there. Reale chucking it up as the timer went off. Ball loose. Went off of Miles Curry as he fell to the floor.
Great defensive possession there by the Falcons, really battling, guarding all of their pick and rolls and really protecting the paint. And let's see what they can't do on the offensive end.
Keeping the hands active, up and active in those passing lanes.
Johnson off the screen from Keller, back out to Jers, left wing three, short.
I want to see them go more towards the basket here in those last couple minutes and stop settling for threes. Take the three off a dribble drive, not just off a dribble handoff.
Jers tonight with 1-3. Keller's got one, Lake's got one, Johnson one, and then Carson with 4. So
been that dribble drive for the three for the Falcons for the most part.
Mohamed, right corner, right wing three. That was pretty much forced, but it's a tie ball game, 63-63, 2 minutes to play. Keller down the lane, layup, got the block call against Reale.
Good drive there from Keller. Received the pass there from Jers and took it right past Hizataki, so negated the shot blocker. They will get a blocking call.
See if Brandon Keller can line him up and knock him down. A 45.3% free throw shooter this season as he clanks that first one off the back of the iron. Keller at MSOE for the win number 216 for head coach Sean Cassidy, movement in first place all time. In February 15th, he made 2 in a row late in that ball game to kind of help secure the victory. So Keller misses both there.
If you're Tech, you got to get it to your best player. Oh, George on the steal.
Lake George on a steal, fast break, slamma jamma, Lake George, throwing it down, senior. Lake George forcing a timeout for IIT. As you see the replay here, Lake George on the steal, up, tossing it in. Lake George getting this crowd fired up.
Staying in those passing lanes, keeping his hands up, being aware of the situation. Gets the ball, and he does what he does best, get out in transition and throw it down.
And that was a huge possession for Concordia because both teams were kind of struggling offensively these last 4 minutes. So for Concordia to break away on a George dunk in transition to put them up 2, let's see, and they gotta figure it out on the defensive end. That's how you're gonna win this game. You gotta get stops.
Lake George on Saturday in an overtime victory stole the ball. I think it was 7 seconds to go, Brian, and he went reverse pump and just slammed that sucker home. Put an exclamation point on Saturday's senior day victory.
That had to be sweet for George. Take down the #1 seed in conference play and be able to do it in overtime. It's such a great game too.
A lot of blue here tonight inside the Book. Falcons up to 1:30 to go. Not really a guess on what the IIT Scarlet Hawks are going to do here. Somehow, some way, the ball will go to Max Hizataki in the post or out at 15 foot and face him up against Alex Antoni, who's guarding him. It's just a matter of can they get him moving and get the ball to him in the right position. Up top, Muhammad.
Gonna be Muhammad with a screen from Mizutaki, I'd assume.
And Cody's really protecting the lane here.
Galik, another screen from Mizutaki. Muhammad left. And they're going to get an offensive foul on Galik. Tried to set a screen, came off, and had too much of a shove.
Can't be moving. You got to be set when you pass that ball, and you're going to be a screener right after it.
So
that's been a little bit of a point of emphasis this year. It's watching those dribble handouts, kind of a rub screen. They've been really watching that this year.
A little offense, defense as well for the Falcons as Lake George takes a seat, and Karsten going to spread the floor here again.
So just a shade over 1 minute to go. Falcons up 2. Karsten handoff to Zelo, handoff to Jers. Backdoor cut, Johnson not there. Jers dribbling in, spinning. Karsten up top. Handoff to Johnson, 7 on the timer, dribbling. Smart timeout there by head coach Sean Cassidy with 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. John, I want to ask you, having been a part of the staff for 4 years, you've been around John Kane and Cassidy and assistant Dan Miller, and you've seen all the tricks they got in their pocket. What do you think you draw up here? I believe the ball's going to be on the sideline. What is something you draw up?
Usually late clock, they like running what they call a zipper play, where they set a down screen for the point guard and then look for a shooter off another down screen. And especially late clock, they might look for something like that because you don't have a lot of time, or honestly, you could give it to Jordan at the top of the key and let him work his magic late timer. But I would like to see a little zipper screen and maybe a pin down for Jordan catch and shoot.
Though. They're going to inbound it underneath now.
Does that change it?
That definitely changes it.
I do like the Johnson option. He's been cold today, but he's good in big moments.
Zelo and Lake switcher right before the ball was handed off, and Johnson left corner. Shot fake, pulls up, floater, couldn't get a Zelo on the tip, ball still loose. And Lake George was out of bounds and it caught his foot.
It's unlucky. Yeah. Great hustle there by Lake George just to keep the ball alive and out of Hisataki's hands for even a brief second.
Here we go again. Concordia's got to get another stop here on defense.
So now we will get an IIT timeout with 37.2 to go, 26 left on the shot clock. Concordia, Wisconsin up 65-63 in this ball game. It has been the Max Hisataki show for the Scarlet Hawks. 19 points, 16 rebounds, 5 blocks. Ahmad Muhammad has 16 points of his own with 3 triples. Milos Galik has 11. He has 5 steals in the ball game. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, it's been the Lake George leading the offensive way for Concordia, Wisconsin, 16 points on 6 of 10 shooting. He does have a triple, 3 steals. Grant Karsten, 12 points, all from downtown for the freshman. 25 minutes in a big ball game for him. Brandon Keller with 11 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of 9 shooting. Jared Jers, 8 points, 3 of 12 shooting for Jers. Does have, though, 5 rebounds, but more importantly, 10 assists, 0 turnovers for the point guard. Joey Zelo has 7 points. He has 4 fouls. Jordan Johnson, 2 of 10 shooting night, 7 points. Alex Antoni has 4 for the Falcons, 44%, holding Illinois Tech to 38%. I believe you said the Falcons had 10 turnovers at halftime. They have 12 now. 9. So 9. They have 3 turnovers the second half, really taking care of the basketball. So Illinois Tech with a side inbounds, 37.2 to go, 26 on the shot clock, down 2.
Where do you think the ball's going?
I don't know. Max Hisataki? I mean, come on. Trying to go inside. Miles Curry, Miles Curry, as the ball was coming in, warded off Lake George, shoved him. Offensive foul.
unbelievable call there. I mean, I think it was the right call. He warded him off.
Gutsy call.
Gutsy call. There, yeah, gutsy.
I would agree with it. I mean, he moved and his arm extended, so back come the Falcons.
These are the two you want the ball in the hands, Zelo and Johnson. They both
Johnson
shoot
has the ball, and he needs to hold on to it, and he's still live. Up to Jers. Clock is ticking. There's a 1.5 difference on the timer, and they will eventually have to foul Jordan Johnson. Smart basketball by the Falcons to continue to try to get the ball to Jordan Johnson, who is shooting 87% at the free throw line this season.
Just fouled out as well.
Dugalic fouls out of this ball game.
And Concordia did a fantastic job of working clock, moving the ball, and getting out of the double teams, and then eventually getting it to their best free throw shooter.
So 65-63, Falcons up to 10.5 seconds to play. Jordan Johnson at the line, 87% free throw shooter. Knocks down the first, 3-point ball game. Johnson needs to hit this to make it, well, 2 possession, and really 1 if you want to go difficult for a 3 and a foul, which rarely happens. Johnson up, count it. Falcons up 4. Timeout, IIT. Gotta be, I mean, it's not necessarily a play of the game, a sequence of the game right there, what you just saw the Falcons playing keep away. Johnson to teammate, Johnson teammate, get it back to Johnson, best free throw shooter, force IIT to foul as the clock ticked down.
I think the other big play was the George steal with about 2 minutes to go. There has not been a basket since then. And I think it was 63-63 with like 3 minutes to go. And now it's 67-63. It's been hard for both offenses to score. And George with the steal and the slam was crucial.
Talked to head coach Sean Cassidy pregame. One of the things he had told me was that they got to get out of the 60-point range, get to the 80 mark where they're normally used to. But hey, if you can get a victory in the 60s, you'll take it.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
Time.
So 10.5 to go. Illinois Tech inbounding. Here's Ataki, lost it over, whoa, Lomax. Still spinning, Muhammad, steal by Joey Zelo. Foul Lomax. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will seal it. Falcons are gonna go ahead and take the victory. Joey Zelo at the line. Falcons up 4. Zelo this season, 80%. Another guy you want at the line. 2.2 seconds to play.
Safe travels.
And this is the second one, but it really doesn't matter at that.
Does not matter. Falcons are going to walk off the court inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse tonight with a 68-63 victory. Falcons take the victory tonight, 68-63 inside the R. John Book Fieldhouse. As it was a tight ball game, no other way to describe it. It was 63-63 at one point. Falcons go on to play tight defense, score the last 5 points, and hold the Scarlet Hawks to nothing down this last couple of minutes. Look at some of the final numbers tonight. The Falcons shoot 43.9%. Hit 8 triples from downtown. 10-8 at the free throw line, 12 turnovers, just 3 in the second half. As you get Illinois Tech with a rebounding advantage, 38-33. Points in the paint. Falcons eventually went ahead, and they won that battle 32-28. Individually, Max Hizataki, 19 points, 17 rebounds, 5 blocks. Ahmad Muhammad, 16 points, 5 assists. He had 5 turnovers. Milos Degalik at 11 points, 5 rebounds. For the Falcons, Lake George leading the way tonight, 16 points on 6 of 10 shooting. He had 5 rebounds and 3 steals. Brandon Keller at 11 points, 7 rebounds for the big man. Jared Jers, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. Played all 40 minutes, no turnovers. Joey Zelo at 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Jordan Johnson at 9 points, 5 rebounds. And Tony with 4 points. And Grant Karsten, the freshman, a huge factor coming off the bench, 12 points, all triples. Any final thoughts from you guys on a big victory for the Falcons, who are going to now go ahead and they're going to go to, see if I can figure this out right here.
WLC.
Yeah, they're going to go to WLC for a Thursday 7 o'clock matchup, the NACC tournament semifinals.
I think the big key was Karsten, and you don't get that production usually out of him. He had 4 threes, 3 in the first half and 1 in the second. That was a huge lift from the Falcons bench, where usually the 2 scorers are Zelo and Johnson, and to have Karsten 4 and 12 from the bench is huge.
And you go back the last 4 minutes of the game, it was tied 63-63. There was only 5 more points put in there, and I think it came down to a staple of Concordia, and it was defense. They got a key Lake George steal that kind of got him going to put him up 2. And then after that, it was all done on the defensive end. And most importantly, guess what they did at the end? They made their free throws.
Free throw shooting key factor for the Falcons down the stretch. So it'll be the CUW Falcons at the WLC Warriors Thursday, 7 o'clock in Milwaukee at the Rex. So for all involved, Brian Tenner, John Winter, myself, Steve Schar on the call, everybody in the production, we thank you for listening. Have a good night.